What is going on out there, peeps? All right, man. I'm telling you, something's coming, and it's coming very soon. We are seeing an escalation of the devaluing of the U.S. dollar. Congress just passed unanimously those sanctions against some very prominent people in China. That's going to send shockwaves throughout the financial industry. The reason is now China is saying they're going to do the same thing to us. And as you know, there's a lot of companies that do a lot of business with China. I'm surprised you haven't heard LeBron James crying yet, but we'll see. Let me show you something. Okay, look again, you guys. Money metals exchange. Right now is the time. I'll leave a link in the description. Don't forget to put the promo code Pimpy so you can get your free half ounce of silver. It's really important. Well, let me show you what's going on. Now, this is from 2018, but look at it. The silver supply inventory is going down, down, down. Not very much of it. And keep in mind, silver is second only to oil in commercial uses. All right, so the demand for silver continues to grow. We call it the poor man's gold, but nonetheless, you can see right here the silver industrial demand. Look at this, near record high. That's important to know. So, anyways, I'm going to bring you over to, I think is Mark Moss. Oh, sorry about that, Mark. I want you to hear what Mark has to say about the sped up process of the devaluing of the American dollar. All right, because that affects us. It's what we're talking about.
What this means for investors, right? So we're not going to dig into the politics and all the intricacies of that. I'm sure you'll light me up in the comments and go ahead. I'll have a conversation with each one of you about that. But what does this mean for investors? If you're just an investor and you just care about the money, why do you even care about this, right? I mean, it's the other part of the world, right? Well, at this time, it's really unclear what the full ramifications are going to be. I mean, it just happened, right? Now, like I said, the U.S. law signed by unanimous decision, so that was pretty powerful. It shows that for the first time, Congress is really kind of together on this. And basically what they've decided to do is that they're going to penalize any banks that are doing business with Chinese officials. So sanctions, right? That's what the U.S. always does, weaponize.
They're sanctioning any and all banks. Now, check this out. Around the world. Now, I have no idea how Trump ended up with this type of power, but Congress has definitely put through unanimously these sanctions, which is surprising considering the bed buddies of China are the Democrats. Very, very interesting. But listen what he's got to say.
The U.S. dollar, slap sanctions on them, penalize the banks that do any business with Chinese officials. So that's a little bit different. Usually you're doing sanctions against an entire country. Here they're talking about doing sanctions against individuals, Chinese officials who carry out the new crackdown on Hong Kong people. Now, of course, China doesn't like this. They've already vowed to strike back in retaliation, and they're going to do their own sanctions against the U.S. Basically against the U.S. as a country, U.S. people, and U.S. companies. Now, this could mean massive loss of revenues for companies, obviously, that get the sanctions slapped against them. China does make up a huge part of the market, right? A huge part of the world, massive demand. And there's a lot of U.S.-based companies that make a lot of money in China. Now, obviously, it's an extensive list. I'm not going to go through it, but Apple, Nike, Disney, the NBA, Starbucks. I mean, I can go on and on and on. There's thousands of financial corporations that are in Hong Kong and trying to do business over there, and it goes on and on and on. And they could lose out big if China continues on with their threat, which it looks like they probably will, and says no more business with the U.S. That could potentially cost American businesses billions of dollars in revenue. Billions of dollars in revenue lost means stock markets drop, and on and on and on. Now, the stock markets are already basically looking for any reason they can to drop lower at this point. I guess they're looking for any reason they can to push a little bit higher at this point. But yeah, I mean, they're so fragile, looking for any reason they can to drop lower, and this could just be their reason. Now, this just happened. It's breaking news. I'm bringing it to you, so we have to see how it's going to play out. But you need to be aware of this right now because you need to be aware of what investments you have. If you have investments into individual companies that have a lot of exposure, that get a lot of revenue from China, then you need to be worried. You need to be careful because those are obviously going to be hit the first. Now, what does this mean for the US dollar? All right, now, if you're an American, or really, even if you're not, the whole world is based on the dollar. So regardless of where you are in the world, this impacts you. And so, like I said, what we're unsure of exactly what's going to happen with U.S. companies, with them getting revenue from China. I mean, I don't think the U.S. is backing down. It was signed unanimously through Congress. I don't think China's going to back down. This is going forward, right? And so, like I said, we're unsure exactly how it's going to play out, but we kind of get an idea. But we are sure that the acceleration, the demise of the U.S. dollar status is happening. And not only is it happening, it's been happening. I've been reporting about it for a long time, but it's happening much faster.
Much faster. This is what we were talking about. This is actually, Trump talked about us and warned us about this. But he also said the gold standard is great, but silver linings are good too. You know, I keep telling people to be careful about the stock market. You got to watch it. The Dow's down, but the S&P, NASDAQ, they're pumping money into these stock markets to keep them afloat. But we'll see what happens once China makes their move. But silver has already jumped up to $19.75. $19.75. Gold's still teetering around. It was below I think it was like $17.98 earlier, but it's definitely back up to $18.12. These are supportive levels. But I think if you see silver get anywhere around $21, you're going to see it jump up quickly to $30. Okay? So now is the time to buy. So, having said that, I want to bring something to your attention. Ant Mix pre-orders. They're sold out, with this exception of this one here. Sold out. Bars are hard to get right now. JM Bullion. 1 bar left. Look at all these. Sold out. Out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. Everybody is running out of stock. Everybody. Now, Money Metals has the bars, but they're limiting them to only 100 maximum. So what does that mean, Pimpy? That means you could go to the other items that they have that there's no limits on. One of them is junk silver. See this right here? And you buy, it comes in these nifty little storage bags right here. That's how they come. So they're 90%. So they're pre-1965 junk silver. We call it junk silver. It's not really junk. It's just, that's a term meaning the conditions of the coin are ugly. So there's no numismatic collector's value to them. So we call them junk silver. It's only good for its metal value. So that's good for silver collectors, all right? So you could buy them. You can come over here and you can buy them. They sell them in by $5 increments. So you see here, you got 5. Click it. If you want to go over here to $15, see how it increases right here? Okay. They have that, and this is much cheaper right now than it is than the silver brown, silver bars, even the maple leaves, or even the looks like this one's trying to go down. So there, for those of you who don't know, there is a problem over there on the East Coast, and it is down. I think it's a cyber attack, to be honest with you. But look, so I tell you guys, if they're running out of silver bars and silver rounds, that shouldn't discourage you from buying. So I would tell you guys to buy American Eagles, but the truth of the matter is Canadian maple leaves over there are about $2-3 cheaper per ounce. So I want to steer you guys to where the lower one is. The junk silver is even more cheaper. Okay, so here there's no limits. They have no limits on Canadian maple leafs, and there's no, if you insist on buying the U.S. Mint Silver Eagle, see that? Click it. Takes you to here. Those ones are out of stock, but you can go here, click this one here. There's no limits on these ones either. So you see the American Eagles are $27.41. See that? Each. Let's look at the Canadians. So it's $27.41. Go down there, silver maple leaves. So $27.41 for that one. This one is $24.31. $3 cheaper per ounce. I'm just trying to help everybody out. All right? So just consider that. At least Money Metals is not out, you guys. They have bars, but they're limiting it only 100 ounces at a time. So, don't procrastinate. You see the cost of silver continues to climb and climb and climb. And with this move against China, this is going to affect the markets. And it's going to cause the value of the dollar to shoot down. Plus, I showed you that article that Trump had. They're going to do the IMF meeting in October. And look, all this stuff we talked about many times. Trump is just trying to get China the hell out of America. They have way too much influence here. They influence our professors. They influence our local and federal politicians. I mean, this is the type of stuff that we need to see end. So basically, Trump's just pushing them out of America. Okay? It's for a good reason. It's a national security threat. They have gotten in here and embedded themselves really well. And it's not just here. They did this around the world. So, the crash of the dollar is going to cause the crash in the stock market. There is one item, or two items that are, well, I shouldn't say two, precious metals would be the investment. People holding precious metals are going to be able to benefit from this big time. Also, if the dollar is devalued, we'll keep an eye on the exchange rates of our other currencies against the US dollar to see how that fares out. But for the most part, you guys, look, money metals has not ran out. You could go here, you could do your purchasing. They limit you on bars, but maple leaves are unlimited. You could buy, you want $100,000 worth, buy $100,000 worth. You know what I mean? I know some of you guys are like, I ain't got no damn 100,000. I'm just trying to say that, look, you could buy $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 worth because some of you have. All right, so there's no limit on the maple leaves. There's no limit on the American Eagles. And actually, the more you buy, the price comes down a little bit. See? Okay, so just a suggestion, store up on some junk silver or store up on some Canadian maple leaves or the American Eagles. All right, you guys? Prices are going up. And with the sanction that was handed down, yeah, that's definitely going to cause things to accelerate a little bit more quicker. Again, you guys keep in mind at the end when you check out, it says promotional code or promo code. Make sure you put in there Pimpy so you guys can get your free ½ ounce of silver. Because if prices go to where we think they are going to go, and you get that 1/2 ounce of silver, you're going to be very happy about its value here very shortly, okay? All right, you guys, if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so. Because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I surely do appreciate it. Talk to you later.